G'day mates, Lost here, and welcome back to Asagao Academy. In the previous episode, we went on a date? Question mark with Paul? He really pulled things up. Yeah. Let's just summarize that episode with that. Anyway, we are in the library now. It wasn't long before I found myself in an actual place instead of just wandering halls endlessly. I stepped into the library and meandered through the shelves, mind racing. Had I overreacted? Was Paul really being a jerk, or was I being too sensitive? It took such a level of either complete disregard or complete stupidity to ask me something like that after our misunderstanding. I couldn't fathom it. There was no way he could have done that with good intentions. For reference, he basically suggested that we pretend to date. Yeah, that's terrible. As I switched from one aisle to the next, my steps slowed. I traced my fingers along the back spines of the book, looking at titles. Guide to the Internet for Supremely Dumb People. The hoped. Ancient Alchemy is described by an immortal bunny. Asagao's collection of books was unique and thorough, and I regretted that I hadn't spent much time here until now. Oh, hello, it's you again. I jumped slightly. Mr. Saitama stood next to me, peering over my shoulder. I didn't take you for one interested in the alchemical processes of bunnies, but now I feel short-sighted. He smiled at me, and I smiled hesitantly back. I was hoping I'd run into you again. It's not often one meets someone such as yourself. He gestured to the top of my skull. It took me a few seconds to realize he was referring to my hair. You know, I knew a young woman who reminded me of you. She didn't have pink hair like you do, but she had the same eyes. You wouldn't happen to be a Mizuno, would you? But how? He gave a hearty laugh. Your mother seemed like the type not to let go of a maiden name. I'm happy to see that hasn't changed. Hadn't. She's no longer with us. To my surprise, Mr. Saitama nodded as if he fully expected this. It's not rare to see something like that in her case. What do you mean? How do you know my mother? The old man twirled his beard, eyes glinting. I taught her flower arrangement in our old school, long before I was appointed to Asagao. She was exceptionally talented. I remember she wanted to start a flower shop. My father makes pottery, and they sold the flowers and the vases they were pied in. The old man hooted again, slapping his knee. A clever idea. Clever she was, too. I see you share her intelligence. It would be difficult for someone of her financial status to come here otherwise. I glanced down at my clothes, suddenly self-conscious. It wasn't that apparent that I didn't have money, was it? I suppose it's the curse of the main character, isn't it? God damn it, man! Main character? Might call me that, too. He nodded sadly. You can't help the effect you have on the people around you. Don't fret, my dear. Why does it sound like you're talking in circles? Are you trying to tell me something, or...? Genre savvy, too! But you get it, then. Sometimes people find different ways to say what they want to say. Don't worry so much about that boy. I know he's difficult to deal with, but he really has the best intentions. If you can believe in that, you'll overcome everything. He nodded sagely, then turned away. You're just leaving then? He crept slowly away, resembling a toad, or at least a small green imp of some sort. I frowned. Whatever his motive for approaching me in the library to deliver cryptic information regarding something that he had no way of knowing just happened, his advice was sound. I had, after all, refused Paul's offer. That should be the end of that. The least I could do was show up to the meeting after class. If I didn't do that, I might as well leave the campaign. Bitterly, I shoved the books as far back in their shelves as they could reach, smiling when I heard the satisfying clunk of their ends hitting the wood. There were only 2 weeks till the tournament and the election. I could last until then. I avoided Mai's and PBG's questioning eyes all through class, concentrating intensely on the small doodles I made in the corner of my notebook. Only one person had seen the whole thing coming and therefore accepted my odd behavior. John. When I made eye contact with him, he nodded at me, a sympathizing smile on his lips. Then he looked away. Finally, class was over, and I pulled on my backpack. The end of days had come. It was time to swallow my pride. Seeing the grim determination on my face, Mai frowned. Are you sure you're gonna be okay? Don't worry, Mai. I stretched my neck, then grinned. I'll be fine. You say. I stood outside the meeting room, heart in my mouth. It wasn't often I had to swallow my pride. It wasn't often I had to face a room full of people and tell them that, although I meant what I said, I completely overreacted. I swallowed hard. When I entered the room, the three boys, who had been discussing something in a tight circle in the center of the room, turned to stare me down like the worm I was. The worm that walks. Hey guys.
Hana!
Hana! It was an awkward stalemate. Nobody moved either to welcome me in or to shove me out. I closed the door and walked to my usual chair, setting my bag down in its seat. So, I wanted... I'm sorry. I stared at Paul in surprise. Seeing the tension in the air, Nick and Josh stepped out of the room and gave us our space.
Really?
You're sorry? He sighed. I wanted to pretend like your allegations were false, but I realized you were correct. I was using you for publicity, and not particularly treating you like a human being or a full-fledged member of the team. There are reasons for this, but I don't think I can tell you why. It'd only make things worse between all of us. So, for now, I hope you can accept my full apology and my intentions to change my behavior. He bowed 90 degrees in front of me, and I threw up my hands. Please stop this! Stop! Straighten up! Stop! He was acting like an actual politician towards me, like we weren't even friends. I physically grabbed him and straightened him up. Sit! I pointed at the teacher's desk and he obediently sat on its edge. Paul, look, I know the election has been putting a lot of stress on you, but you gotta live life outside of it, too. I know I do. You don't have to tell me this. Are you sure? I think I do. You've been relating everything back to the election. I haven't heard you talk about the tournament or your classes in weeks. I don't even think Jeff's got much of a leg on you. We're clearly in the lead of all the publicity we've been doing. That's what you think. I disagree. Most students seem disinterested in the election. You just get away to make them active participants in our name. He started and I jumped. I've got it! Nick! Josh! Nick and Josh burst into the door of the classroom and looked from me to Paul.
Yeah!
Let's have a date auction!
What?
A date auction? What? What do young people care about? If online auto-completion searches are to be believed, they care about one thing. Romance. And Romans. I'm sure you could put that differently. Right now, Asagao is against romance, but if we can find a way to make romance approachable, to make it fun, to turn it into a fundraiser for the school, it's a win-win. I stared at Paul in shock. He heard absolutely nothing I just said to him, and I couldn't tell whether I found his relentless drive annoying or adorable. Certainly, it was awe-inspiring. I doubt I could make any guys compete in a date auction, but that's where you come in, Hana. I need you to gather all the girls you can, from your dorm or your classes or wherever, as long as they're girls and students in Asagao. Ride together, the army! This will be my final play! Nick and Josh politely clapped. I wanted to crawl into a hole. There was, again, nothing I could do. You'll do it, won't you, Hana? You'll talk to the womenfolk for me? What? Oh no. Oh my god. Okay. So, this is an absolutely ridiculous plan. I don't know why my mouse was pointing over his Wiener Schnitzel. Anyway. Okay, so. Let's refer back to the old man for a second, Mr. Saitomo. Obviously, I'm sure Paul has good intentions, but at the same time, this is utterly strange, hence why the responses are both like, ugh. Well, I think we're going to end up saying, I can see you're not going to let this go. Because we've tried arguing about this in the past, and well, no. Paul nodded eagerly, the fire of 7 horse-drawn chariots in his eyes. Okay, Elijah. I sighed. I'll do it.
Hana!
Yeah. Paul pulled me into a hug. Nick and Josh balked, and I flushed. Oh, right, sorry, professional distance. Paul pulled away, and I took 3 steps back from him. Then I'll get going. We'll have it this Friday. That gives me all next week to work on my speech. Or prepare for the tournament, right?
Mamma mia!
Oh man, that's the day after, isn't it? Dot. Don't worry, I've got this. I've totally got this. I closed the door with a sigh. Suffice to say, that was not at all how I expected the situation to go. But then, when it came to continue, it never was. I told Mai about the plan that evening, my head bobbing from side to side. I don't know how I'm going to tell everyone, though. Isn't that a weird thing to do? I don't want them to feel like pieces of meat. The more I thought about the day auction, the more I realized it could be harmless, maybe even fun. But I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to get around the knee-jerk reactions of a charity auction. It was squicky. Fun fact, at the university that I went to, there used to be like an event that the student government would put on occasionally called speed dating, where it's like you randomly like get set up for like a blind date and it's a pretty quick date or something. So I'm guessing this charity auction might be similar to that. I'm not sure. Anyway, Maya looked up at me from where she was hanging half off my bed. I mean, it is for charity, isn't it? I nodded.
Bingo.
Then, trust me, there's nothing rich people love more than charity. I don't know. Don't worry, I've got this. She stood up and moved to the door. What are you doing? Don't worry, he'll be fine. Why, wait. I stuck her head out of our doorway.
Hey, who wants to date boys for charity?
That is an excellent line. It must be repeated.
Hey, who wants to date boys for charity?
I do! There was a brief silence. Then... What? Dating boys? Affirmative. This is a standard high school experience. I'm eager to participate. I held up her hands to the clamoring masses, and they went quiet. I imagined them staring up at Mai like she was some kind of savior, like little chipmunks. Paul, our current president, is holding a date auction. She winked. If you ever wanted the chance for your boyfriend to prove his love for you, or maybe that guy you've been ogling in the gym to casually reciprocate, yes, I'm looking at you, Naomi, then you should all participate. It's only going to make our academy stronger in the meantime. There was a murmur of assent, and Mai smiled.
Bye-bye.
Great, then I'll see you all on Friday. Spread the word. Mai shut the door and jumped back onto my bed, a smug smirk on her face.
What?
How you... Not everything is as big a deal as you seem to think it is, Hana. Just talk to people and throw ideas out there. Sometimes something will stick. People are more forgiving than you think they are. It was easy for Mai to say. Mai was always brash, loud, semi-obnoxious, even if that was what I loved about her. It was easier for her to be outlandish than for me. People would think I was saying something about me, like I snapped. Like... Mai picked up my stuffed rabbit and stared at it, tweaking her nose from side to side as if sniffing. Then, I didn't really know much about her, did I?
Hey.
Mai, do you have a dream?
What?
What? I know you're going to school here because your parents basically made you, but you have a passion, right? Other than Jared, I mean?
Well...
Well, I guess I do. What is it? Volleyball? Public speaking? Acting? Modeling? Whoa, you're giving me way too much credit. Well, if I had the chance, I'd want to do two things. First is start up a heavy rock band called The Parted Mice, where I can play a badass red electric guitar, or maybe a bass, and swing my hair all over the stage like a total beast. I nodded. I see it. The other thing is, well, I don't know if I could ever really do it, but I always thought it'd be fun to be a writer. Oh yeah? That explains why you were so excited about the letter to the editor.
Seriously?
Why don't you try applying for the school newspaper? If Continue can have a column, certainly you could do it.
What?
What? Me? Oh, no, not me, no. I'm not good enough yet. There's no way I could ever do that. I'll keep practicing. Someday when I actually have something to offer, I'll think about it. But...
No!
No, Hana. She whirled on me, a finger raised like she was talking to a dog. I whimpered. Shouldn't you be practicing for a tournament or something? I sighed so many he's cracking a bit. Yeah, I should.
Really?
Were those your legs? My god, Hana, you're like an old man. I chuckled softly and shooed her off my bed. It was time for me to practice. But as I pulled out my phone, I remembered something Mai did for me a few months ago, back at the start of the year. You should accept. She looks a little angry, though. I believe in me and my abilities, even when I didn't believe in myself. Wasn't there some way I could return the favor? The weekend finally came. I woke with the fear of God in me and breathed rapidly. I was one of the people managing the event, after all, and it wouldn't do to show up after the girls who were actually participating. The hallway was already filled with the sounds of girls getting ready in the morning. Smells of straightened hair, fruity perfume, and floral shampoo drifted aimlessly down the corridor. Why on earth were these girls excited about being bet on? Sure, it was a very rare case of dating that was 100% condoned by Asagao Academy, but... then there was the idea that they could go on stage and nobody would bid on them. No, I wouldn't do it in 1,000 years, not even if someone offered to pay me.
Hana.
Please, Hana, I'll pay you, I'll do anything. Dot. I should have known. I should have seen this coming. There was no way Paul would let this opportunity slip by. No way he wasn't going to make his campaign manager show her support by participating in the actual event. Over my limp and dead body. Come on, what are you afraid of? You're a gorgeous girl. Any guy would be lucky to have you. Oh, Paul likes us. Even though he seems like a dick, he actually does. I think. It sounds like it. I try to glare at him and he's changed tacks. We need someone to go first, to let the others know how it's done, and to put the girls at ease. There's no one else I can trust with this responsibility. Paul.
Right?
He turned to Nick and Josh, arms outstretched.
Oh, I know that's right.
I'm right, aren't I? This is a great idea, isn't it? Nick blushed furiously. I mean, it isn't a bad idea. I heaved a heavy sigh. And how is this supposed to help your campaign exactly? Publicity, of course. I massaged my temples. There was no way he would let me out of it. In fact, I could see him literally smacking me over the head and throwing me on stage before I could see him letting me get away with this. Fine, I'll do it. He grabbed my hands, put them together in his chest in an odd, familiar way of his.
Really?
Hana, you angel of angels. You don't win the campaign after this, I'll haunt you to your grave. Doesn't that just mean you'd follow me around for the rest of your life? I'm more than up for that. I sighed and made my way behind the platform booth. It was a slightly chilly day. The sun wasn't out. I expected that to thin the crowds, but my expectations were incorrect. A fair chunk of boys and a handful of incredibly excited girls soon filled the seats, and when 11 o'clock finally hit, Paul took the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you from the depths of my heart for attending the first annual Asagao Date Auction, or as will henceforth be known, ADA. There was a small smattering of applause. Evidently, the crowd just wanted him off the stage. Hopefully ADA does not end up meeting the AI from Zone of the Enders. Anyway, As you know, this is a fundraiser for the school, so we have a few rules to follow. First, keep it civil. Second, please raise your hand when you're ready to bid. Third, participant has the right to refuse your company without explanation, so don't go acting like you're generally buying people. This is just a volunteer thing. For fun. Do you understand me? A slow grumble flowed through the crowd. Do you understand me? A random assortment of affirmations scattered across the crowd. I wasn't sure that truly counted, but Paul seemed satisfied.
Alright.
Well, alright then. Would our first lady of the evening please take the stage? My heart leaped into my throat. What would my father do if he could see me now? I pulled back the flimsy curtain and stepped onto the stage, trying with all my heart to maintain my dignity. Paul motioned at me with his hands, indicating that I should walk around the stage and twirl or something. I slowly traced the outline of the stage and performed a few begrudging spins while Paul read a little bow he had obviously prepared the night before. Just imagine our spins are kind of like what Tina does in a Bob's Burgers or something. I don't know, whatever. Anyway. Hana 16, is currently my campaign manager and potential Normal Boots Club member. She has a big heart and even bigger mouth when she finds the courage to use it. Friends adore her. Hobbies include reading, drawing, and somehow winding up in all sorts of unexpected circumstances. That's a hobby? Okay, fair enough. This song is good. Winner gets to take her to a standard dinner. You're paying, though. She's a classy cat. I saw him glare and he chuckled. We'll start the bidding at 1,000 yen. Now came a moment when I was most terrified of, the opportunity for utter humiliation. I stood in the center of the stage, hands clasped, eyes towards the floor. Alright, 1,000 yen. Do I have 1,500? Do I see 1,500? 1,500, wonderful. I glanced up in shock, absolutely no idea who would care enough to bid on me. And found Josh with an arm raised, glaring across the seats at another man with his arm raised. Nick? And we have 2,000. Do we have 4,000? 4,000.
Whoa!
Whoa! Oh wow! 4,000 yen. 5,000. 6,000. What I first assumed to be a pity bid soon turned into an all-out battle. The numbers rose and rose until the auction audience itself was gasping with each offering. Nick pulled out his wallet and started counting the coins in it, while Josh started asking the people around him to borrow some cash. 10 yen more. Well, I've got 55 yen. Wait, I found 80 yen. Wait, what was that last part?
What?
Oh, what? Found 80 yen. After several more minutes of counting spare yen coins, the tension somehow never dying, Paul slammed his gavel on the podium. Look, you both win. You can both take her on a date, okay? Just live the rest of our lives.
Oh, what the what?
But that's not fair. Too bad. My auction. He pounded the gavel again and gave me a thumbs up. It was my cue to leave, and I sprinted behind the platform in immense relief. Several girls congratulated me as I dashed through, patting me on the back. Others glared at me. If they had poison, I would have been dead by the end of the day. I crept around the back of the audience and took a seat myself, watching the rest of the audience unfold. Maybe Santos sold for 4,000 yen. Less than me. Ha! Getting taken to the beach by a much younger boy, she seemed satisfied. Yes! A new host for my body! For my soul! Or something, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I'm convinced Mimi's evil. Kakusu, on the other hand, was bid on by a few people, including one particularly enthusiastic girl, but eventually bought herself out of the auction. What? Good. Good then. Finally, it was time for the last bit of the day. The audience was restless. Most of them had already gotten their dates, and the sudden return of the sun on a Saturday afternoon was making them antsy. Paul help a hand. Wait, didn't it say earlier this was evening? Okay, whatever. Paul help a hand. I know you're all prepared to leave, but have I got a treat for you. Our final girl is an eccentric, an artist, a genius. Truly, there is nobody with such a caring heart, nobody with the spunk, nobody with vocal cords quite like her. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, my Sasaki. I spit the drink I had been sipping on into the empty chair in front of me.
Yeah!
Oh, God. Hello, world! Mai slipped onto the stage in nothing but her swimsuit. Loud gasp echoed across the audience. Let's start with 5,000 yen. What do you say? She winked at the crowd.
Uh-huh.
I hope you girls put up a fight this time, too. As I watched in bewilderment, the numbers racked higher and higher. Paul could hardly keep up with the bids that came flooding in, mostly from red-cheeked girls. I had no idea Mai was popular as a date, but something told me these people had never spoken to her. Mai was an acquired taste, after all. And 22,000... No. 22,000... Going once, going twice. I realized I was misreading all those numbers earlier. Damn it. Okay. And $22,000! Not yen. Going once, going twice. Paul slammed his gavel, then beamed.
Alright.
And we're done! Thank you all so much for your joyous participation and enjoy your dates. As the crowd dispersed, I made my way backstage to find Mai and Paul. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Nick and Josh sulking off together and decided to pop by them first.
Ah!
Yeah, have the best date with her, because I'm going to.
Hey!
Hey! This is great! Oh god. Just look at this. It's excellent. No, I'm going to have the best date with her. You don't. They even noticed me behind them, too invested in their own stupid argument. Guys, come on. Sparks are practically shooting from their eyes. In fact, they are. Hey!
Hey!
Whoa, hey, Hana. I didn't notice you there. Looks like we're going on a triple date. Yeah, I guess we are. Thank you for betting on me. I bowed quickly. So, Hana.
See you later.
Sorry, I have to go find Mai. I waved and dashed off before they could say anything else. I found Mai backstage, cackling madly with Paul. You never told me you were going at her, with your swimsuit on too. You didn't ask. Are you going to be okay with it? Yeah, definitely, because I'm not even going.
What?
What? I was hoping Jared would be out there. If it's not Jared, then no dice. That's a good pun. I stared at her in utter shock. She winked. My mom's not a businesswoman for nothing. By the way, did you like your bio? You're in on that? Oh, Hana, we talked about this. I want you to expand your horizons, to fly like ever so many blue-winged birds into the deepening sunset. This seems like a great way to do that. Your date will be next Thursday, the night before the election. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. I can't believe I'm going on a date with Nick and Josh.
Well,
only go if you want to. Paul shrugged, waiting for my answer. I guess it'll be fun. Or at the very least, interesting. Then you're going. There you go. His tone was flat, and I looked at him in concern. He shrugged again. I've got some cleanup to do, and you've already helped me enough. Just head back inside. I glanced at Mai, wondering whether she also noticed Paul's weird vibe, but she simply smiled at me. Let's go back in. I've got this new show I want you to see about this enchanted duck. Please tell me it's not Howard the Duck, or Darkwing Duck, or Scrooge McDuck, or DuckTales. I glanced over my shoulder at Paul while he left, but all he was doing was staring at the microphone cords on the ground, completely immobile. Well, Nick and Josh would take care of him, definitely. Next week passed by slowly, grumpily. As the date of the election drew near, Paul got more and more irritable. He spent hours drafting a speech and trying out on us, changing huge portions of it when he didn't get the reactions he anticipated. Nick and Josh, on the other hand, grew increasingly restless as Thursday neared. Our date, after all, was set for Thursday. So, you ready for tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure be fun. Thanks again for spending on me, I guess. I was worried nobody would. What? Why on earth would you worry about that? You're a precious person, so... Josh turned red and Nick took over. We'll pick you up this evening, right? I nodded. On your side of the room, Paul sighed loudly, an obvious cue that we should stop talking.
I
can see you're very busy, so I think I'm gonna head out early. Nick and Josh waved at me, but Paul leaped to his feet. You were leaving? Is that okay?
Well...
He glanced aimlessly around the room. Eventually his eyes fell on a piece of chalk, and he pointed it to it with utmost intensity.
Yeah.
You need to help me brainstorm.
What?
Brainstorm? Brainstorm what? Audience moving gestures. Paul snapped his fingers into finger guns and clicked his teeth. See? I'm hopeless without you. It looks to me like you've got gestures handled. But I stumbled to the hallway, closing the door behind me, and headed for my dorm. It wasn't that I didn't want to spend time with Paul, it was just that after everything that happened, I wasn't sure I'd be able to handle it. I had to put my feelings and my emotional health first. The knock came at my door, I was dressed up and ready to go. I glanced at Mai, who nodded slowly and gave me a thumbs up. I think I'm going to leave off here today, because we're getting ready for another date, maybe? Who knows? Anyway, I will talk to you all later. In case you like this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.